is bhakti or karma. Yeah? Now, the beauty of our tradition is that we have many paths available, and you can choose the path that fits for you. Swami Vivekananda created this four, like imagine a building with four doors. He said Raj Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Gyan Yoga. So you're asking about which is better, Bhakti Yoga or Karma Yoga. You could also talk about Raj Yoga, which is meditation and achieving through chakras and meditation and achieving a high state of consciousness. And you could also ask about Gyan Yoga, which is knowing by mere knowing so much and actually knowing the unity consciousness and living with that idea that we are all unified and in every moment being that way. That is a path also. My guru said and lived the example and taught us the example, which the best evidence of my guru is that it changed my life. And I gave up for 18 years and never looked back. And I gave up quite a lot. And I'm very happy I did that. That's a very good example, very good testimony that at least for this person it worked. And I'm very happy. So the teaching was that bhakti, for those who are emotional, who have love in them, and rather than loving another person, then it becomes moha, means attachment, expectation. Even loving your children, you should. But loving your children can become expectation driven and attachment in the sense that I'll get something out of it later on, they'll do this for me, they'll make me look proud, I can show off, and they'll look after me, they'll continue my business. All of that is attachment. It's not, we call it love, but it is attachment. And love for spouse is also, there's some expectation that, okay, then I'll get something back. So, whereas if you channel that desire for love towards the Lord, then that is a different level of love. That's a whole different level of love. And the love for the Lord, pure love, is not for give me this in return. I had people who tell me, I've given up Hinduism. So I said, why? They said, because I did this yagna and gave $101 and I didn't get through the exam and it doesn't work, I don't believe in God. So it's like the consultant is no good, I'll hire a different consultant. It's that kind of thing. My mother's maid in Delhi comes from the northeast. I pick up very quickly that she's converted. Nobody in the family guessed it. She's been there for 7-8 years. We were just sitting once. She got a Hindu name. So I said, in Hindi, I asked her, so when did you get baptized? That was my first question. And she big smile. She said, oh, on such and such year, such and such, she answered like that. And my relatives sitting around were dumbfounded, like, whoa, how we didn't know that, kind of thing. So then I kept on having a nice conversation with her, that, okay, so did you get baptized alone or your family? She said, no, my whole family, we all got baptized together. So I said, oh, okay, this is very interesting. So what made you get baptized? So she says, my mother was very seriously ill and we went to the mandir and we prayed and the Pandit told us do this and that donation, whatever, and we did that and she got even worse. And then father came to our house and said, I'll pray for you. And a week later she got okay. So then he came back and said that now because Jesus has saved you, you have to become Christian, otherwise you may fall ill worse. So he put that fear also. So we all converted. So this is one kind of religion, and Krishna calls it tamasic religion. This is tamasic religion. This is religion and we have a lot of tamasic religion also. And this is a religion where you are doing something to get something back, transactional. That's not real bhakti. So if it's real bhakti, it is a very good way of channeling your emotional predisposition towards a higher object of bhakti, the Lord. Then karma can be at many levels also. The level where you are doing something to help people, poor people or needy people or hospitals, and you have an expectation. Like, let me tell you, a lot of philanthropy is corporate PR. It's not genuine or from the heart, it's corporate PR. I know this because I hang around that circle and it is corporate PR. It's like you get on a board and then you get deals, you hobnob with people of a certain strata because you are in this certain level of giving and only people of a certain level of giving will be in that club and they'll have dinner together, and then they'll have a photo opportunity with the governor and whatnot. And so basically, these big billionaires who are giving large amount of philanthropy from India, they want to join some big league where they can cut big deals. So there is one level of karma yoga which is purely selfish motivated. But real karma yoga is without wanting anything back. Then there is a higher level than that also. Higher level than that is that it is not mine to give, it is not my money in the first place. Like a bank trustee, bank employee is a trustee, looking after somebody's trust account and spending it wisely. So this money, when it was earned, was just in use for me as a trustee. It is not my money, and I have to use it for the general well-being. Yeah. So when we give, I'm not the giver, I'm just the trustee who's doing this, and it's not my deed and I want nothing for it. That's more than just this beyond even selfless giving. Because in selfless giving, at least you feel I give. You feel I gave and oh, I'm selfless. I am so cool. I actually gave and I'm selfless. But that register inside, the transaction has registered, the cash register inside has done ding ding, I have given. Okay. Whereas it was never mine to begin with. When I did the work, I was doing a sewa, and whatever came from the work, I came empty in this world, I'm going to leave empty from this world. Whatever work I was doing was sewa. It was nishkam. It was without karta bhav. And that money that came is going to flow through me for whatever the right causes are, as per the best I can figure out. But it's sort of like you are operating, you're head of a trust, and it is that particular trust money, and you're just helping out as a volunteer doing the job to manage the trust. So if your karma yoga is like that, it is of a higher kind. So now there is an even higher level than that. The higher level than that is that this is Brahman, and I am having this patient is Brahman who's come for an operation I'm doing. Or this client who's called, and I'm saying, hello, I'm going to call him John because otherwise he'll think I'm weird. But I know this is Brahman's form that has called. So in every interaction with another person, you basically remind yourself that this is a form of God that is present. And this way you begin to live that you are surrounded by God in many, many forms. Your relatives, your friends, your enemies. One of my many transformations happened, and I don't tell stories, but once in a while I'll tell them my personal stories. I was in a situation in my business where somebody was really after me for a totally unreasonable, there's people who are strange people. They'll want to have a fight with you. And no matter what you do, it's unsolvable. I mean, they're making a completely unreasonable demand, and no amount of reason, logic, pleading will work. So I had all this rattling me. So I asked my guru, what should I do? And I'm this fighter type who would give it back. So my guru said, the question is the wrong question. What am I to do? You are to do nothing. Because as long as Rajiv, the ego, wants to do something, there will be a reaction. And you will be facing, Rajiv, the ego, will be facing the consequences of doing. So first thing you have to understand is that next time you meet this guy, before you say anything, you should say, this is Brahman who has visited me and he's come to fight with me. This is Brahman who fight with me. And I have to keep that in mind, keep that attitude in mind, and I will also do what I have to do. But I am doing also Brahman's form. This is Brahman's form. See, the Kauravas and Pandavas are all both Brahman's form. The Devas and Asuras are both Brahman's form. The snake that eats the rat is Brahman's form eating Brahman's form as rat. That is what this world is like. Brahman as gunas in combat and encounter with other Brahman as gunas. Yeah? Same Brahman as many, many entities. The doer and the one who's being done to are all Brahman. The one who is doing the deed and to whom you are doing it is also Brahman. If you can keep reminding yourself of that and begin to sort of become second nature to you, it can change you. So I thought, okay, I have taken the pledge that I'll do what the Guru says. And there's so many experiences I had where I just went just like jumping blind into the swimming pool without knowing how to swim because somebody says go for it. So I decided I'll go for it. The strangest thing happened. I had this feeling towards this person. And this person is a very kind of mean guy. Very strange thing happened. He opened his mouth and he said, Rajiv, we don't even have a problem. A very amazing thing. It's like it affected him in some way. He didn't even want to fight because nobody want to always fight with me. But this time he didn't want to have any fight. He said, you know, I've been thinking, we really don't have a problem. Complete change of heart. I was so amazed. I don't know how it happened. I have no idea how it happened, but this happened. So I noticed that this, sometimes it is the gurus who can anticipate what is right for you. Sometimes they have a certain grace that can interfere and do things for you to give you a moral, to give you support and encouragement in that way, to change your character from being the fighter spirit to being something a little different. You see what I'm saying? So then I've been through a lot of these experiences I can keep telling you about. But bhakti and karma become the same thing. Because when I am bowing before the Lord and wanting nothing, and versus when I am doing something which is I am not really doing, but some action is flowing through me, through this who is also Lord's form, it's the same thing. It's also bhakti. Then karma turns into bhakti too. Karma turns into bhakti. So when you do anonymous, like in the satsang we used to have in Haridwar, they don't want anybody's money, they don't want to make you feel that you've done something. You can privately go, just quietly go and buy the whole kitchen supplies and quietly put it in the kitchen and just go off at 5 o'clock in the morning, nobody will know that you've even done it. And with the feeling, there's all Brahman's form who are going to be eating it, and this money is not mine in the first place. Now is that karma or is that bhakti? I think it's both. You see what I'm saying? So these different paths. You know these Mayan pyramids are four-sided. So from each side you can climb, any of the four sides, but at the top you are in the same place. So bhakti will take you to the same place as karma, if you really follow it that way.